We did.
Who did? Okay. All right. You guys had the empty S, I believe.
We have the empty blank.
You have an empty one too. You also have the female reproductive tract, so we'll probably come over there. All right. Let's start with this cat. What we saw in this cat, Caleb and Kara, dissected all the way from the inguinal canal down to the scrotum and was able to pull out a testis. This is a spermatic cord because you can see that it contains, like, or you might be able to know it contains more than one thing. There's an artery in there, there's a vein, and and the vas deferens. The vas deferens leaves this collection and then circles around behind the bladder and meets up with the vas deferens on the other side coming from the other testis and converges into the ejaculatory duct. What's shown over here is we have, I'm pretty comfortable calling this, here's the vas deferens, and you can see this vein that was there that's leaving the pelvic floor, and you can, I'm sticking my kind of probe in it now, and that is the inguinal canal leaving the pelvic floor to go to the other testis, which is here. The neat thing, let's see, there was something in this cat.
I didn't touch that one.
It was the scrotal lining. The scrotal lining here is actually, can everybody get a look at that, how white, slick, and smooth that is? That's actually a serous membrane, and it's, we have a name for it. It's called the tunica vaginalis. And it is part of the peritoneum, actually, when the testes descend out of the pelvic cavity during male formation. It drags along a piece of peritoneum with it into the scrotal cavity, and that forms sort of the serous membranes that surround those. So that's pretty neat. So question was asked earlier about, what are we going to write about? If you had a female cat, all of these observations that were made, and I continue to make here, these are what you need to do. If you had a male cat, I think there was only one other cat that went down this far. I mean, I need to read about everything that came down to here that I just discussed. Is that cool? All right, now, a couple of other things that were cool. This is
This is Melissa.
okay, no, that's right. This is Melissa and Lachey's, and what we see here is the testis cut transverse. So they're cut in a cross section, and it's pretty easy to see. And y'all might want to take turns just kind of looking around. That what the testis is actually composed of are lots and lots of very small tubes that coil back and forth on each other. And the interesting thing about those tubes, they're called the seminiferous tubules. Don't worry about that one. But the interesting thing about those tubes is that's the place in the testis where sperm cell formation takes place, is within those tubes. And then they're collected and collected and collected until they're eventually shipped into the vas deferens. And so that's a good-looking section there. Now also on Hillary and Arnica's cat, we were able to kind of dissect away the cat penis. And this is it. That's the cat penis. That's it. Don't everybody knock me down. Here we go. That's it. And that's most of it right there. There might be a couple more millimeters back there, but that's most of it. Okay, and then here's the scrotal cavity where you can see it separated. We'll talk later how these two, each testis is anatomically isolated from the other, which means that like an infection in one does not necessarily have to result in an infection in the other. So here's a good male. Let's this kidney's neat too. Did all you guys get that kind of look out of your kidney, out of your sheep kidney, where you saw, here's a major calyx. And then if you dug further in, you would see lots of smaller minor calyces that branched off of that. So that's kind of a neat look. Let's go down here to Chi-Chi.